Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Tom Savini. Tom, I didn't know if you were ready, but we're going to be playing some musical chairs. That's why there's so many. Hopefully that's okay. Well, the music stopped and you sat down, so you won the first round. Good job.
Well, what do you want to know?
Oh my gosh. Man, you can't throw that at me right now. Just how are you doing? How about that?
I'm fine, considering.
Oh. What did you guys do to Tom?
No, considering our age, the frequency of accidents.
Oh, God.
I just got hit by a car on my bicycle.
What?
Yeah.
Who?
My head broke the windshield.
Oh, God.
I took it with my shoulder. But no stitches, no broken bones. It's pretty good for an old man.
Yeah. What's, so you do a ton of horror conventions, I'm sure. How many a year do you think you do on average?
Conventions?
Yeah.
6 last year.
Yeah.
Probably the same this year, yeah.
What's like, some of the more stranger things someone's brought along to your table for you to sign?
Oh, I can't tell you. No, it happened in an elevator.
Oh.
Yeah, we had to put it on emergency stop.
Oh.
So you can just use your imagination. What I had to sign in the elevator. No, it ranges. I mean, the people are great. This is where you come to be adored. This is where the reward is, not on set. But it ranges from little kids to doctors and lawyers. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent here.
That's okay. We're all here to listen to your tangents, so go for it. Does anybody out there have any questions for Tom?
Yeah, come on, give me some juicy questions.
Give him a juicy question.
No questions. Well, thanks for coming.
Not a single question for Tom. Right there. Here we go. He's going to kickstart it off.
All right.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Mr. Savini?
Hi.
You've stated several times in the past that you believe that some of your best work was done in the movie The Prowler.
There's some good stuff in The Prowler,
That was
yeah.
a long time ago. Do you still consider that to be some of your greatest work? Have you done a lot?
Not the greatest work, no. Fluffy from Creepshow, Nate's Corpse. Creepshow is my masterpiece,
Okay.
Before that, I was the king of splatter. After that, I'm the monster maker, so that's what I always hope to be.
They're all good.
Thank you.
They're all good.
Yeah. I've been around a long time.
What was it like that kind of got you going into makeup? Like, was there a certain movie you watched, or were you kind of like just experimenting with different, like, Halloween makeup or anything?
No, I was 11 years old and I saw a movie called Man of a Thousand Faces. Anybody see that?
No.
Yeah, it's
Some people, yeah.
It's the story of Lon Chaney. I have a son named Lon. I named him after Lon Chaney. Lon Chaney was the first Phantom of the Opera, Hunchback of Notre Dame. We're talking about silent movies, okay? So from that day on, after that movie, I just spent every day learning about makeup and experimenting on myself. I used to go to school with half my eyebrows missing, nose putty in my hair. But then I realized I could make up my friends. And then they would go home with like half their head burned off, makeup. And the parents were like, "Who did that?" Savini. Well, you're not playing with him anymore. Yeah, so anyway, it was a learning. So I taught myself, Now I have a school that teaches it.
Anybody else?
My voice is so high.
It's all right, we got you.
Let's try to get it down here. Okay, that's better.
There we go. Right over there.
Oh, a question, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I was wondering about when he cast Tony Todd as Ben.
Yeah.
Like kind of what the story was.
Well, I wanted my cast to look as much like the original cast as possible, except for Barbara, because I knew she was going to become Sigourney Weaver, going to become a woman hero. But we cast in New York. Lawrence Fishburne auditioned for me. Eric LaSalle auditioned to be Ben, But they didn't look enough like Dwayne Jones. So we were leaving. We were done, and Tony Todd came in, and he actually grabbed me by my lapels, put me up against the wall, and said, "You have to read me." Oh, okay. Gave him the script. He went out in the hallway for like 5 minutes. He came back in without the script, knew all the lines, and produced tears. I said, "That's it." I closed the book. There's Ben. We got Ben. Yeah. Yeah, he's great. Was great. The late Tony Todd.
Any questions from anybody else out there?
Yeah.
Yep.
about to make my first feature film coming over this summer, and I would love to know any advice that you have. It is, of course, the zombie Brothers of the Apocalypse film.
Are you directing it?
Writing, directing, and co-starring.
Okay, just remember that directing isn't just pointing the camera at the action. You know, I always think about Scorsese when he shot Raging Bull. The camera was in the ring for the fights, except the fights that were rigged. Then the camera was outside the ring. That made you feel something, okay? A good director makes you feel something. If you see E.T. again, notice that almost every camera angle is about this high off the ground. That's how tall you are when you're 12 years old. He made you one of the kids with the camera angles. You know, they don't teach that shit in film school. This is something directors come up with, you know. There's so many examples of stuff. In Close Encounter, and it's usually Spielberg. Close Encounters, the little kid, what was he, like 4 years old? He wanted him to look out the window and see the saucer landing. But he wanted his face. He wanted him to look enchanted. So we hired a bunch of furries, people in rabbit suits and, you know, dancing outside the window. So the kid would be, you know, and that's brilliant stuff, anyway. So anyway, we keep that stuff in mind. You're supposed to make people feel something, make them cry or make them laugh. Those are the movies you remember, you know? Yeah.
We had a question out there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Tom.
I don't hear very well.
Okay, I'll stand up if that helps. One thing that's been really cool in recent years has been to see so many of your movies that you've worked on, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and Depraved and some of these others, get these beautiful new 4K restorations and, you know, shine again on home video. I'm wondering if there are any movies you worked on that you would really like to see get that treatment that haven't yet.
Well, all of them, yeah. You know, that's like somebody said, what movies would you like to go redo? All of them, you know.
Any other questions out there?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, right there. And I got you over there.
Mine's a little bit more technical. I'm trying to learn the special effects stuff.
Yeah.
When it comes to a live cast, how can you do a live cast with the mouth open? Like if you're, I guess how do you get the mouth open in the live cast?
Tell them to open their mouth. You know, sometimes we take an orange peel and put it in your mouth like the Godfather did, and then cast that way. Dick Smith used to do a thing with fake eyelashes. He would put fake eyelashes on, and he was able to cast people with their eyes open, okay? But now, we hardly ever put goo on the face to make a live cast. Like if we were gonna make a live cast of you, we would scan your head and send it to a 3D printer. It would print your head, and there it is, you know? It's you know, it takes longer, but you know, that's what we do today. I have a friend that's shooting a movie, and one of the actors could not come to Pittsburgh, where I'm from. He had a guy in LA scan his head, and they sent it to his computer, and there's the guy's head in Pittsburgh. You know, the science is the same. The materials change, you know, and that's been true for 50 years. You had a question back there. I can't hear very well. Oh, it's you again. Look at her face. She did that makeup on
Amazing.
herself. Yeah.
In Creepshow, there's multiple different skits. Which one was your favorite to do makeup on?
I'm not hearing anything.
Which skit in Creepshow was your favorite to do the makeup on?
Oh, Fluffy, the crate creature. Because I had never done an animatronic creature before. I called Rob Bottin. Please tell me that you know who Rob Bottin is. Okay, some of you do, okay. He taught me how to do it over the phone. I spent 2 hours on the phone. He told me exactly how to make it, and that's why Fluffy exists. So partly it's because of Rob Bottin. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
How was it working with Quentin Tarantino and Jessica Biel?
Quentin Tarantino was just a big kid that happens to be a genius, you know. He has seen every movie ever made. He's fun. He's a lot of fun. When we did Django Unchained, okay, I was in that. You probably wouldn't recognize me. I had a beard down to here. I had long hair. I had the dogs, the attack dogs, Bullet and King. When I arrived on the set, the animal trainer gave me like a 15-minute course with how to deal with the dogs. He would say, stand up, sit down, turn around, go over there. It's like the dog understood English. He did everything the guy said. He said, okay, now I'm going to make him go crazy, and I want you to hang on to him. Well, he did this, and the dogs dragged me 30 feet into the swamp on my knees. It was like trying to hold back a car, you know. But I eventually was able to brace myself and hold the dogs, because they did a scene where the slave is up in the tree, and he won't come down. Leonardo DiCaprio pulls up, and he says to the guy next to me, shut these dogs up. I can't hear, you know, what I'm saying. And the guy is supposed to tell me to take the dogs. Well, the dogs are attacking him. They tore his pants off. They dragged him they bit him on the ass. They dragged him to the ground by his ass cheek, okay? His ass looked like the planet Mars. Quentin yelled, lunch. So we all go to lunch. We come back. The guy has new wardrobe on. And we do the scene again. DiCaprio pulls up, so shut these dogs up. And the guy says, here's the dogs. So I grab the leashes, and now I'm attacked I got a dog on each arm. And I'm not stopping till Quentin yells cut, which he did. And the animal trainer said, the reason I still have my arms is because the dogs are trained to attack padding, stunt pads. And I wasn't wearing any. I mean, it still hurt. It wasn't the teeth. It was the pressure, the strength of their jaw. Anyway, we both went to the hospital for tetanus shots that night. The next day, this is Quentin Tarantino. This is what it's like on a Quentin Tarantino set. So the slave comes down, and they attach a fake arm to him, and his real arm is behind his back. And he's supposed to lie there, and the dogs come and tear the fake arm off. Well, every time it happened, you could see the guy's real arm behind his back. Now, I didn't want to say anything because it's my friends doing the effects, K and B. But Quentin did walk by, and I said, hey, remember when I did that in Day of the Dead? When I cut the guy's arm off, I dug a hole in the ground, so his real arm goes in the hole. So all you're aware of is his body and the fake arm, okay? He said, okay, great. I said, yeah, but don't say that I said anything. I didn't want to offend the crew, you know. So he goes back and he says, why don't you dig a hole under him? They gave him some shit about it. He said, no, try it. And it worked. It was beautiful. 7 takes. They tore the guy's arm off. So I'm standing there, and Quentin walks by, and he put something in my hand. And it was $5. He says, there's a policy on Quentin's sets where if somebody from another department solves another department's problem, they're the $5 guy, okay? But the next day, I was the purple penis guy. I don't know where they hide it. I don't know how they blow it up so fast. But if you fall asleep on a Quentin Tarantino set, they put this big purple penis in your face, and they take a picture of you, okay? Now, lucky for me, I fell asleep with my head forward, and the penis was back here. So it wasn't like, you know. So they come to the set with a banner about half as big as that curtain over there to ceremoniously add my photo to the many photos of the people who have fallen asleep on a Quentin Tarantino set. Anyway, so any other questions?
Anybody else got a question out there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
You did the,
Again, I don't hear very
you were
well.
the main guy doing the prosthetics on Dawn of the Dead, right?
Oh yeah, I did them all.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you also did the stunt work on it.
I did the stunts, I did the makeup effects, and I
That
played.
seems incredibly reckless. What would have happened if you had gotten hurt?
I did get hurt.
Halfway through.
No, I did get hurt. When I dove off the balcony, I dove into cardboard boxes, and I missed. And the back of my feet hit the ground from that 50 feet fall. I couldn't walk for 2 weeks. I was in a golf cart, I was in a wheelchair, but I was still doing the effects, okay? So 2 weeks later, my heels got better, and I did it again. But this time, more cardboard boxes. And so I did get hurt. But I played Blades. I did the makeup effects, and I did all the stunts. Well, not all the stunts. I brought a friend of mine in from college. He did some of them, but I did about 16 stunts. Every time a zombie gets hit by a truck, it's probably me, you know. So.
Did they have a plan if you got, because the movie would just end?
No, we were just winging it.
That's insane.
That was like a 3-month Halloween. It was Halloween every night. we're in a shopping mall. We had keys to all the stores, you know. We drove motorcycle gang through the mall, you know. Yeah, it was pretty incredible. What year was that? 1978?
I think so.
Yeah.
78. Yes. Everybody's nodding, so I will say yes. Okay, good.
A lot of you
I was
weren't
right.
even
Thank you.
born then. God. I asked somebody, when were you born? 2002. That was like last year to me.
Right? Yeah. Any other questions out there?
Yeah.
Hey, over there.
Yeah, hi, nice to meet you. I think I read on a line somewhere that said you have a big appreciation for music too. Do you ever go to any like concerts or festivals or anything these days? Or?
Yeah, listen, I went to a Santana concert. One of my first concerts. I saw a concert with Sly and the what?
Family Stone.
Family Stone. Yeah, listen, I'm 79 years old. I've been around a long time. I've seen a lot of stuff. I was a combat photographer in Vietnam, you know, so I've done a lot of stuff. But music, I just wrote the introduction for a book about the music from Friday the 13th, Harry Manfredini. You know, to me, music is what emotions sound like. There's no other way to describe it. You know, if I'm sitting there in the dark, you know, I'm transcending the universe, you know. Anyway, don't let me get
What are
started
some
on
of your
that.
favorite soundtracks?
Soundtracks?
Or scores, even?
Yeah,
you know?
Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
I don't want to get my phone out, but I have a whole list of my favorite soundtracks.
Braveheart.
Say it again?
Braveheart.
Braveheart, yeah, Braveheart.
I'm a
what
big
else?
Friday the 13th 3D score fan. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a question over here? Oh, yeah. Does anybody else have any questions?
Well, no,
out here?
I want to.
Yeah. Oh, get that list out.
I want to answer that question a little better. Because they just happen to have it right here. Of course, there's no internet in here. What am I looking for?
Music. Soundtracks. Favorite soundtracks.
Keep on. I'm an old.
I got you. Who had a question over here again? We'll preload the next question. Where you at? Where'd you go? Right there.
Wait, now I'm wondering where the hell the file is.
You look for it, and I'm going to get this question ready for you. Yeah.
Given that you've been in the industry so long, what have been the most interesting advancements in special effects and how have you utilized
Well, we were just talking about that. The idea of scanning ahead instead of. Listen, I have a hand of Fluffy, my crate creature. It's only the right hand. And I cast it in wax like this. Then I bent the fingers, and I had it cast in bronze with a handle on it. And that's the hand I would swing at the victims in Creepshow and miss and take a chunk out of the wall because it's bronze. Well, I lost my thumb. I can't raise this thumb any higher than that. The ligament was torn by swinging that claw. But wait, what's the point? Why am I talking about that? Keep me on track.
Technology.
Yes, technology. Anyway, I couldn't do anything about fixing the tendon because I was in the middle of doing Creepshow, 14 hours a day. But now I'm trying to wonder why I'm telling you about that. Oh, I know what it was. The right hand of Fluffy. Okay? So we scanned that damn thing, put it in the 3D printer, and hit reverse, and that gave me the left hand. So now I have two, and that's the great technology. I'm sitting there with Greg Nicotero, and every now and then he's leaning over to me and showing some AI thing that he created on the last movie. It was the last scene of From Dusk Till Dawn when the trailer is driving away and you see that it's an old Aztec ruin. Well, he had bats coming out of the window. It was incredible. But it's AI. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I love AI. But have you seen Savini Linguini? If you look on Instagram for Savini Linguini, I'm walking down the street with a plate of linguine, and it turns into a 3-foot linguine monster and starts eating people, okay? It's AI. Somebody created it and sent it to me. You wouldn't believe the shit I got when I posted that on my Instagram. Oh, Savini, practical effects. Now he switched over to AI. I did no such thing. I just loved the damn video, okay? But if you're an artist and somebody told you 10 years ago, you're going to be able to draw from the greatest art ever created in the universe to help you with your project. You would be overjoyed. But there's an incredible collective mindset against AI. But listen, when photography was invented, they were afraid painters wouldn't work anymore. That didn't happen. When CGI came out, they were afraid it would put so many people out of work. AI is just a tool, and it's fantastic. If you go on YouTube and you see these things that people are creating with vampires and castles, I wish they would make a movie with all that stuff.
Didn't they just, wasn't it, somebody maybe help me, Steven Soderbergh or somebody just made an entire, one like big director just made an entire movie out of AI. Yeah.
Well, it's going to happen. All right, what am I looking for?
Music, your favorite musical scores from movies.
Why can't I find it?
Darren Aronofsky, that's right. Yes, thank you. I knew it was one.
What about, Darren did the movie?
Yeah, he did the AI movie.
Great. All right, I know where to look now.
Okay.
In my notes.
While he's looking, does anybody else have a question? Okay, we got you.
Search.
Sorry, I was going to ask about.
Wait, you're interrupting my train of thought. Wait.
We'll get ready. You're going to be next.
Yeah, you're next. Okay. I'm in the file where it should be. I'm just going to say music and see what happens. No, soundtracks.
Soundtracks.
Okay.
What are some of your guys' favorite movie soundtracks?
Halloween.
Halloween is, yeah.
I didn't like the movie, though.
You didn't like Halloween?
No, it had too many mistakes.
Oh.
At the beginning, listen, I sat with a panel at a
crowd's
convention.
turning on you, Tom.
I was at a convention with the cast from Halloween. And the first thing I said was how stupid that movie was. And they were like, what? Then I explained, the very first scene in the movie is the killer's point of view going through the house before he discovers the girl at the vanity. And it's shot from 7 feet up in the air, looking down at her. Then they cut outside to this little kid with a knife. And I'm thinking, okay, well, who's the real killer? It can't be him. It's him? No, it can't be. There's a mistake. The camera was up here, okay? Then they stab the guy in the kitchen here, and he stays upright against the wall.
Good catch.
Huh? The guy who they stabbed was sitting right there. He said, I told him about that. I said, no, listen, I would fall. But they had me strapped up against the wall. And I thought that was kind of stupid. Anyway.
But Tom, what if it wasn't a point of view of the kid? It was a point of view of what the kid would become.
No, it was purely the kid.
Okay. I tried.
Good try.
I tried.
No, but don't forget, I'm in effects mode. I'm judging the effects because that's what I do, okay? So those two things took me out of the movie. They were major mistakes. Okay, what am I
Took
doing?
you out of the movie at the first part.
Let me put soundtracks in here.
All right. I like Season of the Witch. Yes. Soundtracks. Here we go.
Okay, Wrath of Khan, Temple of Doom, Stoker's Dracula, The Mummy, Blade Runner, Last of the Mohicans, Blow Up, Chinatown, Hair. That's the soundtrack.
There you go.
What else do you want to know? Huh?
You don't like Braveheart?
No, I love Braveheart. Yeah. Listen, I did a convention with Mel Gibson. We were in the gym together. He was all by himself. He was showing me these Chinese breathing exercises. So if you had walked in, you would think this is a crazy man because he's doing all these faces, you know what I'm saying? So I asked him about Braveheart. He said, would you ever do something like that again? He said, fuck no. I had 9 cameras going, Anyway. No, I love Braveheart. Actually, I didn't love Braveheart. I hated the ending. Because his men are watching him be executed. I thought, well, they're going to save him. They don't. Anyway.
Spoilers.
Yeah, sorry. If you haven't seen Braveheart, yeah, he dies.
Is any other questions out there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yes, right there.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the project you were going to work on. I think it was Island of the Dead you were going to do at one point.
Island of the Dead?
Was there another zombie movie?
Yeah, there was, what was it, Nightmare City or something like that?
Yeah.
Who directed that?
Nightmare City?
Yeah, the Italian guy. Was it Lucio Fulci? Anyway.
Really the only one I can think of, yeah.
No, they stopped. They haven't talked to me in 3 years. I don't know what they're doing with that. But I watched the original City of the Dead. City of the Dead, yeah. I mean, an airplane lands, and zombies were flying it. They changed the remake, the script, to a boat pulls in. Well, that's more logical. A boat could pull in and stop, and then zombies would get off it. But I was all set to direct that thing, and they raised money. They stopped talking to me. I don't know what happened. It happens a lot in this business. Yeah.
What are some of like the newer movies you've seen some makeup effects or special effects in where, it's kind of impressed you? Like, who's kind of like the up and comers you've been seeing, filmmaker wise too, like some of the directors?
Yeah, there's been quite a few actually. I'd have to see a list and pick.
Yeah.
I can't come up with it. Let me try. There hasn't been a good horror. Well, anybody see Weapons?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Anybody see Sinners?
Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah. Oh, I thought you had a question.
He had a question right there though. Now he's looking
Yeah, go
at his
ahead,
phone.
yeah.
He's looking something up.
You had a question.
You had a question.
So you worked on so many horror movies with George Romero, Dawn of the Day That Everything, and I was wondering what was the difference of working with George Romero on his horror films to working with him on Knight Riders?
Same guy.
Yeah,
He's just a big kid, Knight Riders is really his life story. The whole fighter yield, that's where his heart is, People's reaction to that movie were strange. They expected a horror movie, and it's Camelot with Ed Harris. So anyway, yeah. So that was great. I mean, it's the best summer I ever had. Riding motorcycles, fencing, wearing armor. How often do you get to do that? That was so much fun.
that was my favorite role that you played, Morgan.
For me?
Amazing.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Quentin loved me in that movie. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a very strange question.
A very strange
Perfect.
question.
He gets very upset with me because when I watch movies, I see the mistakes and I say them out loud.
Yeah.
Ruin the movie for us. Do you take your wife off the same way? Or you
No, I know better than to say anything. I mean, we might talk about it later. I mean, she knows how I feel about, Halloween, but there's so many mistakes in so many movies.
He points out every mistake in every movie, and I'll look at him and go, that wasn't supposed to happen right like this. And he'll go, you're not supposed to see that. Shut up and watch the movie.
Well, in a way, that's kind of true, but if you're intelligent and you're critical, there's nothing wrong with that. If it's a good movie, you don't have time to think of the mistakes or the camera angles or what the director was after, if it's a good movie. And again, the person that hits the mark every time, is Spielberg. I got to say, it's Spielberg. I haven't seen any of the avatars after part one. I saw part one. It's almost like that was enough for that effect to happen again. Yeah, go ahead.
How much of your work is affected by Vietnam?
How much is my what?
How much of your work was affected by what you experienced in Vietnam?
Oh, all of it. I saw horrible things in Vietnam, but my safety, my distance between was how would I create that? I'm thinking, how would I create that? There's a guy, a friend of mine, Gene Buttons, he went off on guard duty once, and we used to drop pamphlets on the Viet Cong areas with a word, a Vietnamese word. And if they said that, it means they were surrendering, they were going to come to our side, be rehabilitated and all that stuff. Anyway, so Gene Buttons is out there, and the Viet Cong, who just shot him in the balls, his weapon wasn't working anymore. And he started saying, he put his hands up, and he was saying the word. Well, Gene's M16s were constantly jamming. So he got it unjammed and shot the guy. The guy went down, and the grenade that he had in his armpit, he had pulled the pin out of the grenade, put it in his armpit. So when he went down, the grenade went off and just blew him to pieces. I was walking over to take a picture of that guy and almost stepped on his arm. It was like 50 yards away from the guy. So again, my attitude was, how would I create that? So that's why all my stuff, all the horror gore that you've seen in my movies, is anatomically correct. To me, it has to be anatomically correct, because even though you've never seen stuff like that, your attitude is like, oh, that must be how it is, ooh, to make it more grisly. I mean, I would get letters from kids that glue a sponge to their head and pour blood on it. And the letterhead said, Joe Blow's Special Makeup Effects Company. He knows nothing about special effects, you know, but he's got a company going on there. Anyway, that wasn't me. Anyway, anybody else?
Any more questions out there? We got time for maybe one
Yeah,
or
go
two
ahead,
more?
go ahead.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies of yours was Friday the 13th, Part 4.
The final chapter.
Absolutely. That's
They thought it was going to be the last one. Well, that's why it's called the final
Is there
chapter.
any particular reason you only worked on Part 1, Part 4, and none of the other ones?
Well, I turned down part two because the script had Jason running around. Wait a minute, Jason is a kid that died in the first movie. He can't be, oh, yeah, no, we're going to change that. Well, they didn't, okay. Jason is running around. They didn't offer me part 3, and the series was waning, so they gave me part 4. I got to kill Jason. You know, it's like Dr. Frankenstein. I created him, I got to kill him, you know, in a movie. But it made so much money, there's going to be a Friday the 13th, part 13, I'm sure. They're already up to 12, you know. But they're just getting dumber and dumber. Oh, my God. There's the last one, the last Friday the 13th movie, a kid, actually, he drops his gun in the woods. He actually says, he's looking for his gun. He says, "Where are you, gun?" They got 2 teenagers fucking, and the guy says to the girl, "Oh, your tits are stupendous." Who wrote that? Who wrote that? So I never talk in movies, and I hate people that do. You know, that's why I hardly ever go to the movie theater anymore, because people are on their phones or they're talking. You know, it's not the magic of of movies that I experienced as a kid. Anyway, I never talk in movies. But me and my friends, from that moment on, your tits are stupendous. You know, where are you, gun? We're making fun of the movie. Then they tear Jason's mask off, and you don't see the great makeup that was on Derek Mears. And then they carry him like 150 yards and throw him in the water. Well, as soon as they throw him in the water, you're going, okay, when's he popping back up? Because that's the only reason they threw him in the water, is to duplicate the scare that I invented in part 1 of Jason coming out of the water. You know, the movie ended when Adrian kills Betsy Palmer. But I had just seen Carrie. And in Carrie, the end of the movie, the music comes up. She's walking down the road, and you're expecting the credits to come up any minute. And that fucking hand came out of the grave and scared the fuck out of you, okay? I said, let's do the same thing. Let's have Jason come out of the water. Yeah, but he's dead. Make it a dream. People buy it when you make something a dream for some reason, okay? And that's why that ending is in Friday the 13th of Jason. So I had an argument with Betsy Palmer. She said, oh, we never found the body. Jason's body. Okay, so that means he crawled out of the lake. And what did he do for 35 years? You know, eating crayfish, stealing clothes. Nobody saw this weird kid running around, you know? So, you know, to me, Jason died in the first movie. You know, anyway.
One more question out there?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
How was it shooting your cameo in Terrifier 3? Working with Damien?
Oh, listen, I went to the Monroeville Mall where we shot Dawn of the Dead, and my friend had a camera, and we shot that scene, and Damien put it in, you know. Damien's a big fan of mine. He was showing Terrifier 3 in Spain. He called me from Spain. He says, people are puking, people are running out of the theater, people are, you know, he said, it's all because of you. I'm hoping he's going to put me in part 4. You know.
Right.
Anybody else? Yeah. This is a rare opportunity. Go for it. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, I thought.
Well, ask one anyways.
There you go, way back there.
Yeah.
Did you just walk in or something?
Yes.
I saw a movie when I was 11 years old called does somebody want to tell her?
Man of a Thousand Faces,
Yeah.
Lon Chaney. Yeah. Yeah. What's your all-time favorite scary movie?
Oh, The Exorcist. That's the masterpiece. Yeah, that's it. Exorcist and Alien. Alien is just a haunted house in space, you know. But the key to that movie is, remember, you didn't see that alien until the last frame of the movie when she blows him away from the ship. That's the secret. In fact, when we did Creepshow, George Romero came up to me in the office. The movie was edited. And the guy who edited Creepshow was Paul Hirsch, who edited Star Wars.
Oh.
Yeah. And George said, hey, the editor, I'm sorry to say, he hardly put Fluffy in the movie. Great. Because as soon as you see the monster, oh, it's over. I can deal with that. By not showing you the monster, you're constantly afraid of what you don't know, of what the thing, a tail, teeth, that was brilliant, So, and The Exorcist, well, I grew up Catholic, and that stuff is brainwashed into your head, So it went Exorcist went deep into your psyche to scare you. My friends who weren't Catholic, they laughed at it. They thought it was hilarious. The Exorcist, Anyway. This
Any
is
other
fun.
questions?
Let's keep doing it.
Yeah.
Any more go ahead. Go ahead.
In 1974, you worked on Deranged. What was the original Ed Gein story?
Yeah.
What was your involvement in that movie?
Deranged.
Yes.
I assisted Alan Ormsby on the makeup. Alan Ormsby directed Popcorn. He also I was the key makeup artist on Deranged. The movie before that they did was Death Dream, and that's where I assisted Alan Ormsby.
Was that your first film?
My first movie, yeah. But Deranged was my second movie, and I was in charge of all of it. We were going downstairs to a hobby store and buying plastic skulls and putting them together and attaching them to chicken wire bodies for the bodies sitting around the table. That's the fun. That's the fun in creating this stuff, making you believe that what you're seeing is really happening. That's the joy of creativity. That's what I tell my students all the time. There's a joy. The joy of creativity is giving life to something that never existed before until you decided to make it exist. Students come in, have never sculpted in their life. You put a blob of clay in front of them, and they're amazed at what comes out of them, this creature or prop or something, So that's the fun of having my school's been there for 26 years now, in Pittsburgh. More questions.
And Django, you said, okay, go for it.
Okay, this is more of a philosophy question.
A philosophy
Oh.
question.
We're getting deep.
In the movie City Slickers, Billy Crystal is talking to the old cowboy Curly, and he says, "What's the meaning of life?" And Curly says, "It's this." And he says, "Your finger," and he's like, "No, it's one thing, and you have to figure that out." So for you, what is the one thing that gives your life the most meaning?
That's easy. That's easy. Living in the present moment. If you were to sit in a chair and try not to think of anything, like meditate, thousands of thoughts are coming at you, that you have no control over. It's like you're a radio and the broadcasts are being broadcast on the radio that you are. You don't realize you can turn that radio off, okay? So if you sit there, most of your thoughts, I would say 99% of your thoughts, are hurts from the past and worries about the future. Two places where you are not there and you can't do shit about them, okay? And most of my life was like that until I read The Power of Now. Eckhart Tolle, yeah. That book changed my life, and it's so true. Living in this moment is all we have. When I first walked in here, it was that moment. When I leave, it'll be an hour later, and that moment, okay? All we have is now, okay? So, yeah, living in the now, living in the present. That, to me, is the secret of life, because I'm not maybe I am a control freak, but that puts you in control of yourself, being in the now, I'm reading this book right now. It's called Silencing Your Inner Critic, okay? And we all have an inner critic, something that's always yapping at us, trying to make us feel bad, But we also have an inner champion. And it's not the job of the inner champion to get rid of the inner critic. It's to be aware of the inner critic and why he exists. It's almost like you can't live without the inner critic. But again, I think of it as like a 12-inch guy sitting on my shoulder, a little prick who's constantly trying to make me sad or unhappy or telling me the bad things that are, and I physically, in my mind, yell at him to shut the fuck up. I don't need to hear you right now, okay? Most people don't realize, not most people. A lot of people don't realize they have that power to shut the prick up, okay? So, I went off on a tangent there, I'm sorry.
It's all right, we're here for it.
Yeah.
You mentioned in Django how, they dug the hole in the ground to hide his arm.
Yeah.
Kind of like, is there any old school still tricks to makeup or effects or anything that you don't think could ever be replaced or still applies to today?
That would depend on the individual thing, whatever the effect is that in the script.
Jesus.
Was that her?
I don't know.
Did she just scream?
No, I don't
Ask her to do it again. We're talking about horror movies. We should have somebody screaming. Anyway, what was the question?
Oh, is there any like cheap tricks to makeup and effects that might have been done back then that still works perfect today?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's a lot of them. I mean, in the 80s was my decade. I went from one splatter movie to the next. And there was always a cutthroat, So I used to carry around cutthroat prosthetics because I knew I was going to use them, in the movie. So that still works. I mean, you still see it today, in movies. Yeah. Except like there was a Walking Dead episode that Nicotero directed. They got the whole cast in front of a trough and strangers, And they're smacking them on the back of the head and cutting their throats and blood. Well, they didn't even put appliances on those people. They just had tubes on their necks that shot blood out. And the visual effects team would erase the tubes, okay? So, and that saves you a lot of, if I had to tear Joe Pilato in half again on Day of the Dead, it would take 8 hours to clean it up and get him, So a lot of these decisions are based on economy, CGI. They're based on just economy, not spraying real blood. They still haven't mastered a lot of stuff. But AI is taking care of that, I think. Go to Instagram and look up Savini Linguini. It's pretty weird. Yeah, go ahead.
What is your formula for spraying blood?
The formula for spraying blood?
Yeah. 'Cause they always say like corn syrup, that's too sticky. And like,
No.
You took my question. Yeah, it was like Sam Raimi just said, like, what's the perfect recipe for fake blood?
It's Dick Smith's formula.
Yeah.
It's Karo corn syrup, clear corn syrup, red and yellow food coloring, and water, If it's going to be sprayed or pumped, you got to add water to it. If it's going to be dried blood, But don't forget, these are two mistakes that, okay, I'm the only makeup artist, Viet combat photographer, who has seen the real thing, okay? 24 hours after a bloody scene, the blood turns dark brown. It turns like burnt umber. They make a mistake in movies all the time. They go to the crime scene, the blood's still red. I tune out. And when a body dies, no muscles are working anymore, including the jaw muscles. The jaw is always slack on a dead body, and the eyes are open. It takes a muscle contraction to close the eyes, okay? That's the mistake they make in movies all the time. A guy is dying. He takes his last puff of a cigarette, and he dies, and he goes, he wants to look good for the camera as a dead body. No, the body is with eyes open, it's hideous. Anyway, that mistake happens a lot. Anybody else? Yeah.
Right out there.
Go ahead.
With all the time that you spent in the industry,
I can't hear.
with all the time you spent in the industry, what would you say makes or breaks somebody who becomes as successful as like you or Nicotero and somebody who never goes anywhere with it?
Well, they lack consistent persistence. It's not something that you sit there and wait for it to come to you. You have to go get it, That's what I see a lot happening. My students, we usually have an 84% placement for but they're not just becoming makeup artists. The training they get allows them to work in toy companies, mask companies, prosthetic labs, dental labs. Their training allows them to work in all these places. And we have students working in all those places. So it's not just movies, but it's about being consistently persistent, going after it, I mean, I was lucky. Stuff came at me in the 80s, because I had done Dawn of the Dead and Friday the 13th. They made a fortune. Let's get that guy. Let's keep getting that guy. So I got a lot of work. Anybody
Any
else?
other questions?
Yeah, go ahead. We should go on the road.
You were basically Greg Nicotero's mentor.
Yeah,
on Day of the Dead.
I've known him since he was 14.
How many other films did you guys work on together?
I have to look at I just happen to have one. By the way, this is his sweater. He saw me freezing and gave me his sweater. Okay, how many movies did me and Greg work on? Oh, like I can see this without my glasses. Here.
There you go.
Check that out. They're all on there, okay?
Take that to his table and get him to sign it as well.
Yeah, I will. I'll sign it for you.
There you go, yeah.
Anybody else? I know you have that one, yeah.
Do you and other masters of monsters and horror ever, have a coffee clutch, or you share notes, or hey,
Well, I have my school. No, I have my school that teaches it in Pennsylvania. It's been there for 26 years now, yeah. Because, okay, when I was trying to learn makeup effects, there was no place to learn it. I wish I had my school back then. So, and nobody shared their secrets except for Dick Smith. You would call Dick Smith on the phone. First time I called him, I was so nervous because it's Dick Smith. Please tell me you know who Dick Smith is. Nobody knows. The Godfather, The Exorcist. Yeah, okay, anyway. The greatest makeup artist who's ever lived. So I'd call him, and I was so nervous I couldn't talk. He says, well, look, write your questions down next time, and when you call me, you'll have a list, okay? 3 hours later, he's still talking to me about the blood formula, about what he did in this movie. So, and then he would mimeograph it back then. It was called Xerox. And he would send it to you. He would write down all the information you wanted to know and send it to you. He shared his secrets, and he's the only one. So I have to say that, and he invented everything we do in special makeup effects. So what's the point? I'm growing up, no place to learn. Oh, any other masters who shared their stuff? Yeah, no, it was Dick Smith. No, not today, no. Well, there's my school. You can go to my school. Yeah. And Dick Smith has a correspondence. He died a long time ago. But his course is 20 volumes. It's everything there is to know about special makeup effects. 19 ways to cast a head, 15 ways to cast a body. Because he was a scientist. Really, he was also a scientist with nutrition. He knew every vitamin, he knew everything. Unfortunately, he died of Alzheimer's, dementia. You'd show him a picture of Dustin Hoffman from Little Big Man, he didn't know what it was, or that he created it. That's the sad thing about losing your, the Bruce Willis thing. Yeah.
You have a question over there.
Where? Oh, go ahead. I can't hear you, sweetie.
When are you guys going to work together?
What?
When are you and her going to work together on a movie?
Okay, you got to be 18. What's that? Is that something you made? Oh, you did? Okay, yeah.
Nice.
That creep, it's my birthday, and he wouldn't give me one of
Today's your birthday?
No.
Oh.
When my birthday was November.
Oh, okay.
I did a convention with Greg, and he wouldn't give me one of those hats.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, if you come to my table, there's like a QR code on my school sign. Take a picture of it, and you'll get a ton of information about the school. Yeah. They come from all over the world. It's, like I said, it's 16 months. It's a degree program. Parents love the fact that it's a degree program.
Yeah.
One more question. Yeah.
One more, anybody?
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe I missed this, but how did you get into Dusk and Dawn?
How did I what?
How did you get to start, be in Dusk?
In Dusk Till Dawn? Okay. Robert Rodriguez sent me not the whole script, but certain pages of the scenes that I was eventually in. And he wanted me to play Frost, which was the Fred Williamson part. That's why Fred has that Vietnam speech. They thought that I would be saying that Vietnam speech. But I looked at what they sent me, and I saw Sex Machine. His lines are better. The part is longer. So I did a video audition of me as Sex Machine. And when they got it, it made Quentin laugh. So they made Fred Frost and me, because Fred was going to be Sex Machine. Anyway, so I became Sex Machine. And I didn't know I was going to wear that cock gun until the day they strapped it on me. We couldn't stop laughing. It took a year of begging, but I finally got it, yeah. On the first take, it popped up, and one of the cylinders fell off. That was like symbolic of, one of my
You
nuts.
still put
falling
it on from time to time? And
No, I used to bring it to conventions, but I keep it in a different place than my convention stuff, so I always forget it, anyway.
Everybody, make sure you go visit Tom at his table. Give him a big round of applause, please. Thank you, Tom, so much.
Okay.